happened. Here's some background on. Here is some background on Zelenskyy, who used to be a comedian, by the way.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The president of Ukraine's defiant response to Russia's invasion has made him recognized and celebrated around the world. So like many of you, we wanted to know, who is Volodimir Zelenskyy? Well, Holly Williams has got a pretty good idea, because last year she spent time with Zelenskyy and his family in Ukraine. This morning, she shows us how this former comedian became the face of a nation under siege.
Бажаю здоров'я, українські герої.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is being hailed as a new Winston Churchill, stoically refusing to leave his country even as the bombs rain down, sending words of inspiration to his people. But Zelenskyy started out as a comedian performing stand-up. He went on to make
Will they show him playing the piano with his dick?
Movies, often playing an everyman, like a Ukrainian Steve Carell.
People say Zelenskyy's like Servant of the People comedy show was like a CIA op. I don't believe that, by the way, but I have heard that kind of that level of rhetoric. Like, people, bro, he did the Servant of the People fucking show that's like Veep, specifically so that he could, like, you know, get the Ukrainians to love him. Leftists think everything is CIA. Yeah, it's so funny that I think that is a little bit, that takes it a little bit too far. Okay?
He even won the local version of Dancing with the Stars and voiced Paddington in the Ukrainian version of the blockbuster film.
Yo! Are you fucking kidding me? Yo, that was Paddington. Yo, homie was Paddington. Get the fuck out of here.
And voiced Paddington in the Ukrainian version of the blockbuster film. He created and starred in a hit comedy series about a Ukrainian high school teacher who improbably becomes president.
Дорогі співвітчизники.
And that led to Volodymyr Zelenskyy, at age 41, improbably becoming president in real life, winning more than 70% of the vote.
Damn, his wife is hot. Good for him. His wife is taller and hot.
His campaign platform was bringing Ukrainians together and fighting corruption. Last year, we were given rare access to President Zelenskyy as he visited the front line in eastern Ukraine, where they've been fighting Russian-backed separatists for nearly 8 years. Even then, he was taking risks.
I love how this doesn't explain what was his politics. Amazing. Dude, are you kidding me? They don't give a fuck about that. Why would they? What? Dude, that's the other side of the planet. On the other side of the planet, there's only heroes and villains. There is no such, like, is this a neoliberal? Is this a reactionary? Is this far right? Is this far left? Is he a communist? Well, I guess they always say, like, everyone's a communist, usually, if they want them to associate them with a bad guy. But that's it. So, fighting corruption by being named in the Pandora Papers, dude, his level of corruption is literally nothing in comparison to Poroshenko or even fucking Yanukovych. Okay, so come on, or especially Yanukovych. Like, you're ridiculous for saying, or Putin. It's Ukraine. Of course they have fucking oligarchs, and of course they're corrupt. Why are we making it seem? Why are we making it seem like this corruption is not normal when corruption is fucking normal in America? By the way, 72% is legit. His popularity was also waning though in Like, I think it went down to like 30% or something, if I'm not mistaken, before this invasion. And now it's, I don't know. I don't think they're polling currently, but if you polled, it would probably be fucking 99% now. Are you saying there's zero oligarchs in the USA? Bitch, please. No, what? No, I'm literally not saying that. It's like it's almost like an Orientalist perspective. He used to shit on Poroshenko for bending for the EU back in 2017, 2018. Oh, Moldovan Mama Liga's back, baby. Ooh.
Hi.
My man, my favorite chatter.
Going within 150 yards of the separatists.
And they go a little bit forward to see what.
Is this an answer that Clint Bandera was a hero? Wait, what?
Here and. For example, in May,
they're glorifying him here. He was starting to not be well liked. No, I mentioned that. That's exactly what I mentioned. Like, he was not. By the end of this process, when they interviewed him here, he was not well liked. Okay, he was not well liked at all. Partially because, you know, if you can't beat him, you join him. And from what I understand, it's not like he was able to fucking take down corruption.
2 guys were killed by snipers.
The president also went to visit his elderly parents.
That's my mother.
Hello, ma'am. Nice to meet you.
Inviting us in for breakfast.
Ladies first,
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm fairly sure presidents get to go first.
Surely he won't work with Nazis?
In the tiny...
No, of course, dude. Look, he turned a blind eye. He turned a blind eye to, of course, the fucking Nazis within the National Guard. Like I said, he was less overt than Poroshenko, but it still doesn't matter. Like, it's just the country has out of legitimate fears of a Russian invasion, or because of its own complex history with nationalism. It's nation building project that spans over almost fucking 200 years at this point, or 100 years around like leaving the USSR, has always had a history of nationalism and even in certain circumstances, both on the one side fighting alongside the USSR and on the other side collaborating with Nazis, 2 separate groups. It's not as black and white to explain as like from an American's point of view. I guess like if you were to, like, Zelenskyy is not a Nazi. He's not. He's just a centrist neoliberal. But as a consequence of being the leader in Ukraine, of course, there are instances where he has turned a blind eye to neo-Nazi battalions, neo-Nazi formations. But America does that as well. So, you know. It's like that. I want you to understand it in the same way that like it's the same as like the American government doing that. It's just like the most annoying thing is like, he is Jewish, you know. Yeah, I do know. As a Ukrainian, okay, these are the better takes I like from you about Ukraine, recognizing the historical nuance. Yeah, of course I recognize the historical nuance. Anytime you fucking hear me talk about this shit, if people are clipping shit and not showing the historical nuance, then that's their fault. But that historical nuance is also what makes me fear a rise of... That historical nuance makes me fear very nice people both sides. Yeah, I mean, Trump did that. Exactly. I mean, so...
Lose anger, be kind, be generous.
What? America inspired Hitler to commit mass genocide? Wait, what? Who said that? Wait, first of all, America did inspire Hitler. I don't know if you know this. I think you're like saying that as a joke to be like, oh, everyone says America bad. And like, they'll even blame, you know, Hitler's actions on America, but like, it's literally true. yeah, Hitler looked at, you know, Jim Crow laws and eugenics that was popping off in America and openly stated, like, that's some good shit. Like, we want to do that. So yeah, that literally true. So I don't know what the fuck you thought that was going to be, but now maybe it's time for a fucking history lesson for you, I guess. I don't think the gas chamber, the Bracero program is not, I don't know if that's real. The Bracero program being like the Zyklon B's first usage / that's where the gas chamber inspiration came from. I don't know if that's true or not. But the other part of it, like the segregation, Jim Crow laws being an influence in how to do the racist violence for Hitler is true. America in the early 20th century was the leading racist jurisdiction in the world, says Whitman, who was a professor at Yale Law School. Nazi lawyers, as a result, were interested in, looked very closely at, and were ultimately influenced by American race law. Yeah. And we fucking loved Hitler here too, by the way. 30,000 Nazis literally marched on Madison Square Garden. I don't know if you know this or not, but the American Bund movement was very, very successful. So, you know, just another thing to consider and another thing to remember, I think. America first is what they were claiming, those Nazis, at the time. In 1933, Madison Nazi March. Yes, you can literally pull footage from YouTube. Yup.
Of their apartment. We enjoyed.
I've heard Americans were behind the Maidan coup revolution. Thoughts? No, yes and no. Here's what's annoying about the way that we respond to color revolutions here, or the way we understand it. It's either it's all America's doing, or it's all fucking you know, propaganda, and it's like a genuine civil society revolution. What's frustrating about this is the nuance gets lost in these conversations all the time. Let me explain. The Euromaidan protests were originally 1,000,000%, okay, whether as a consequence of propaganda or whether it was like legitimate and genuine, were absolutely created by the Ukrainian people, okay? Straight up. They did not like their incredibly corrupt government, okay? And they absolutely legitimately were very upset with the way things were going. Part of it was because of their refusal to join NATO, and that is true. I mean, not NATO, sorry, the EU, and that is true. It's true. You can't fucking deny that. It's so stupid. But what the CIA and what the American State Department loves doing is launch or take advantage of genuine momentum in a certain direction in a country and turning it into whatever the fuck they want to turn it into. Okay? If you think that there was no American involvement in this circumstance, you're a fucking fool. Okay? Absolutely. Like, oh, just John McCain was just simply going and hanging out with like Svoboda people, the nationalist party, the far right nationalist, like neo-Nazi filled party for no reason. They were just hanging out and taking photos with the Azov battalion for no reason. It was just for funsies, okay? So, of course, there was a tipping of the scales there, 1,000%. There was a tipping of the scales there, abso-fucking-lutely, okay? Ukraine is a very big simplification. Oligarchy with a democratic facade. Politics are not black and white. My grandpa's business was forcibly taken from him by Yanukovych's circles. Svoboda is rumored to have been created by Yanukovych himself as an easy opponent. Victoria Nuland was handing out biscuits, lol. I mean, yeah, there is a fucking reason why so many people were, I mean, here. The United States current Secretary of Political Affairs for the United States, Secretary of State for the Political Affairs of the United States, Victoria Nuland, This is what a lot of people point to as well. As far as like what the legitimate and genuine protest against a corrupt government turned into. A legitimate and genuine protest against a corrupt government turned into a incredible opportunity for America to utilize this protest in Ukraine as and insert themselves into the situation, or had inserted themselves into the situation leading up to this, and uses an opportunity to build momentum. And but Christian Science Monitor, aren't they fucking legit? Why are you guys saying Pepe Le Christian Science? Don't they like weirdly have good ass articles? Am I crazy? No, they are. They're legit, guys. What the fuck? Christian Science Monitor is like actually, I originally thought that it was fucking bullshit too, way back in the day, because it's just like Christian Science Monitor. What the fuck does that mean? No, they actually have like really, really good fucking media. Yeah, as legit as 9gag. What the fuck? You're seeing Christian Science and you're judging it, which is understandable. But same with BuzzFeed News. Like BuzzFeed News actually does really good reporting. What is it? All Sides Media Bias Rating Center. There you go.
Hey,
The Christian Science Monitor has maintained its reputation within the news industry as a well-run, high-quality news organization with minimal bias. If these motherfuckers are saying that they're a centrist and reputable, a reputable institution, I don't know what to tell you. You have Christian Science writers who are fans of you. I know them. Fuck yeah. Anyway, now that we have recognized the integrity of Christian Science Monitor, the authenticity of a YouTube recording of Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland on a call to the U.S. ambassador isn't confirmed. It sure sounds convincing. A tape uploaded to YouTube on February 4th appears to be a confidential conversation between Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland and U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Jeffrey Piot.
What do you think?
I think we're in play. The Klitschko piece is obviously the complicated electron here, especially the announcement of him as deputy prime minister. And you've seen some of.
By the way, if you think this leak isn't 100% like Russian leak, I don't know what to tell you. If people try to tell you this is like deep fake audio tech, that's bullshit. But it's certainly fucking leaked by FSB, like 1,000 million %. The call is, they don't even deny that the call exists. It's just that they, you know, it's just, yeah, the leak itself is coming from Russia, but.
Some of my notes on the troubles in the marriage right now, so we're trying to get a read really fast on where he is on this stuff. But I think your argument to him, which you'll need to make, I think that's the next phone call we want to set up, is exactly the one you made to Yachts. And I'm glad you sort of put him on the spot on where he fits in this scenario. And
the call that you're listening to right now is a confidential conversation between Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland and U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine Jeffrey Piot. The State Department hasn't yet commented on the video, and it's possible the conversation was faked. However, the White House is blaming the Russians for the leak, which probably tells you that it's the real deal. If not, it's an amazing piece of mimicry of how U.S. senior diplomats speak in private. Update: the State Department spokesperson Jen Psaki called the leak a new low in Russian tradecraft on Thursday afternoon and said, "I didn't say it was inauthentic" when asked to confirm if the tape was legitimate. I didn't say it was inauthentic, but it's fucked up. It's true though. I mean, it is a new low or a new high, depending on what you look at. A new low from a Russian perspective, assuming they did it. It was brilliant, and it didn't require assassinating a former spy in a foreign capital with radioactive isotope. The leak, if that's what it is, comes as tensions ratchet up between the U.S. and Russia over Ukraine. The F word. Because Newland does say, fuck the EU in the call. Here, let's just fucking watch it.
I'm very glad he said what he said in response.
Good. So I don't think Cleach should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you think, what, in terms of him not going into the government, just let him sort of stay out and do his political homework and stuff. I'm just thinking, in terms of sort of the process moving ahead, we want to keep the moderate Democrats together. The problem is going to be Tony Book and his guys. And, you know, I'm sure that's part of what Yanukovych is calculating on all of this.
I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, you know, what he needs is Cleach and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week, you know. I just think Cleach going in, he's going to be at that level working for Yatsenyuk. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Okay, good. Well, do you want us to try to set up a call with him as the next step?
My understanding from that call, but you tell me, was that the big three were going into their own meeting, and that Yats was going to offer in that context a three-way, you know, the 3+1 conversation or 3+2 with you. Is that not how you understood it?
No, I mean, that's what he proposed, but I think just knowing the dynamic that's been with them where Klitschko has been the top dog, he's going to take a while to show up for whatever meeting they've got, and he's probably talking to his guys at this point. So I think you reaching out directly to him helps with the personality management among the three.
How'd they get this audio so crisp? What do you mean, bro? It's the fucking... It's Russian statecraft, homie. What the fuck do you think? We're talking about a country that is like invented new techniques of doing spy shit since the beginning of fucking time. They literally had the inventor of the theremin find a new fucking frequency that we now use for the theremin to put a literal fucking listening device in a gift that they gave to the American embassy so they could listen for like, what, 5 years or some shit? Like straight up. They could just hear every single thing that was going on in the room, as clear as you can hear this phone call. Why does chat think that a recording that sounds exactly like a phone call is so crisp? Well, it's because it's... yeah, also, the country is run by a former spy. What do you think Vladimir Putin was doing? Motherfuckers think the only people that can do spycraft is like, you know, the UK and America because you've watched, I don't know, Mission Impossible and 007. Yeah, they had it for 7 years. The thing, also known as the Great Seal Bug, was one of the first covert listening devices to use passive techniques to transmit an audio signal. It was concealed inside a gift given by the Soviet Union to the United States ambassador to the Soviet Union. Because it was passive, needing electromagnetic energy from an outside source to become energized and active, it is considered a predecessor to radio frequency identification technology. Okay? And it was designed by the Soviet Russian inventor Leon Theremin, who's best known for his invention of the theremin. You know, the with your fingers, you like fucking play this invisible... I'm not going to do the theremin sound again, but you know what I mean. It sounds exactly like that. I was doing an incredibly accurate version of events.
And it gives you also a chance to move fast on all this stuff and put us behind it before they all sit down and he explains why he doesn't like it.
Okay, good. I'm happy. Why don't you reach out to him and see if he wants to talk before or after?
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Okay, I've now written... Oh, one more wrinkle for you, Jeff.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I told you this or if I only told Washington this, that when I talked to Jeff Feltman this morning, he had a new name for the UN guy, Robert Seri. Did I write you that this morning?
Yeah, okay. I saw that.
He's now gotten both Seri and Ban Ki-moon to agree that Seri could come in Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
So that would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, you know, fuck the EU.
No, exactly. And I think we've got to do something to make it stick together because you can be pretty sure that if it does start to gain altitude, the Russians will be working behind the scenes to try to torpedo it. And again, the fact that this is out there right now, I'm still trying to figure out in my mind why Yanukovych did that. But in the meantime, there's a Party of Regions faction meeting going on right now, and I'm sure there's a lively argument going on in that group at this point. But anyway, we could...
she really said it with her chest, dude. She fucking emphasized the F in that one. She was like,
we could land jelly side up on this one if we move fast. So let me work on...
How do you know it's real? It corresponds to events that actually took place. And most importantly, the United States did not deny its authenticity.
I am a Russian,
and just said it's really fucked up that they leaked it. So what more do you... I mean, this is from fucking like 2014. This is... You asked me about Euromaidan, and you asked me like what kind of involvement that the United States had in Ukraine. So I'm showing you the... They actually specifically chose not to deny the authenticity. Yeah, when asked whether it's authentic or not, or are you saying that it's not authentic, Jen Psaki said, I didn't say it was inauthentic. What do you think that means, bro? What do you think that's about? You know? Anyway.
An early morning brandy.
Do you prefer politics or comedy?
Comedy, his father Alexander told us, saying he worried too much about his only child. Vladimir Putin said he launched this bloody invasion to rid Ukraine of Nazis. A strange claim when Zelenskyy is Jewish and says his grandfather fought against the Nazis with the Soviet army. Now Ukraine is in peril again, and the country's unlikely leader has emerged as a hero.
It's truly, truly awful.
Even getting Hollywood's attention at an award ceremony Sunday.
We have a fellow actor in Zelenskyy who deserves some credit tonight for fighting the fight.
But Volodimir Zelenskyy has left showbiz far behind. He's found a new calling, helping to galvanize his people and winning the admiration of a world horrified by Putin's attack on Ukraine. For CBS Mornings, Holly Williams.
It's amazing that Holly was able to do that a year ago, so we got to see him up close and personal, just to see him in the bathroom washing his hands. Yeah. It's unusual sitting there with his mom and dad. This is my mom. But the best line I heard him say recently when the U.S. offered him a way out, he said, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition.
Yeah, well, his ability, his communication skills turned out to be very central to this fight where disinformation and misinformation is so important. I like the description of him as being the Ukrainian Steve Carell. I hope Steve Carell hears that and gives him new perspective into what's going on there.
And there's a very cliche line that presidents throw around all of the time. It's, I'm a man of the people.
Yes.
But he really is. He embodies that. And you can see that he's authentic. And the people have embraced him. The world has embraced him, and we support Ukraine. Yeah.
I was talking to a woman from Ukraine the other day, and she said before this happened, he got mixed reviews, but now everybody is solidly, of course.
I mean, this is literally true, by the way. Vladimir Putin's doing, by the way. What a gift.
Let me work on.
What a gift to America and the Ukrainian people, I guess.
Klitschko, and if you can just keep, I think we want to try to get somebody with an international personality to come out here and help to midwife this thing. And then the other issue is some kind of outreach to Yanukovych, but we probably regroup on that tomorrow as we see how things start to fall into place.
So on that piece, Jeff, when I wrote the note, Sullivan's come back to me, VFR, saying you need Biden, and I said probably tomorrow for an attaboy and to get the deets to stick. So okay. Biden's willing.
Okay, great.
All right.
Thanks.
Like I said, this was a conversation between the Ukrainian ambassador and and the assistant secretary of state at the time. Okay, the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. this was the conversation that they were having about next steps in Ukraine in the aftermath of the protests. Tell me where you found that salad? What do you mean? I fucking ordered another salad, dummy. But this time from Chipotle. In an interview that Kommersant Ukraine newspaper out today, Sergei Glaziev, Kremlin's top advisor to Ukraine, said President Viktor Yanukovych should use force against the putschists and lashed out at the U.S. He charged the West was blackmailing pro-Russian businessmen and that the U.S. was spending $20 million a week to help rebels overthrow the Russian ally. He hinted that Russia might intervene militarily to help the Ukrainian president, which, by the way, Yanukovych did. And it was it was, again, a horrible idea, a horrible, disastrous idea as well. So what we have is an ongoing propaganda war, and in the midst of it, apparently, the leak of Nuland's call, a leak that is highly useful from Russia's perspective. The tape is not a complete conversation and could have been easily edited to make it appear the participants were saying things they weren't saying. It also raises a few interesting questions. The F word. Let's dispense with this one first. Miss Nuland's use of the F word is going to dominate headlines and keep kids giggling on Twitter. On the tape, a voice that appears to be Nuland says, "Fuck the EU," after Piotr refers to the UN sending an envoy to cement an agreement. Piotr responds, "Exactly." Not knowing the context of their past conversation to email discussions, it's hard to pin down their exact frustration. Remember, this is a piece of tape edited to serve the agenda of whoever released it, and it certainly doesn't start at the beginning. But her choice of word in a private conversation is irrelevant and doesn't imply any overarching contempt for the EU that some have claimed. This may come as a shock, but senior diplomats are often hard-charging and temperamental. She could have said, "I don't care what the EU is doing. We're moving forward with our plans," which is exactly what she is saying. It's not the "fuck the EU." No, it's not like, no, the disdain that they have for the EU is about the European partners trying to curry favor or trying to put together a compromise that would be more beneficial to Russia. Because remember, at the time, the government is held by a pro-Russian, a Russian puppet for the most part. Okay. And also remember that all of these guys have swapped sides from the West to Russia, Russia to West, over and over again. Because again, the unfortunate reality is that Ukraine is stuck between the West and Russia. So that's what I mean when I say this, is that like the leadership is constantly engaging in a balancing act, making sure that the oligarchs are favored, while simultaneously balancing between the European Union and European partners and also Russia's influence. Ran it from the top. Daddy, please repeat everything. Yeah, dude, let me just go over this again. Fuck it, dude. The only thing I'm running is the top of the hour ad break, motherfucker. Because at the top of the hour, there's a 60-second ad break. And if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do that for $5 or for fucking free. How about that? How about I run that from the top?
I just ordered a salad and my Uber left it on my dumb himbo neighbor's porch.
Right, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You do that for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon account or someone else's Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. Here's a 1-minute ad break now. Well, Piotr and Nuland or both got hacked. Who and by whom? Doesn't matter. Tape appears to a first... Kyiv Post was among the first news outlets to notice the tape. It provides the Ukrainian backdrop to the American conversation. The leaked phone call appears to have been made following President Viktor Yanukovych's January 24th opposition offer to the opposition leader Arseny Yatsenyuk to be prime minister and Klitschko to be the deputy prime minister. Offers both men refused. Mykola Azarov resigned as a prime minister on January 28th. It's quite likely that whoever hacked the conversation was camping out a phone number known to be used by either or both of these diplomats. Harvesting phone numbers of senior officials is a common task for spy agencies. What are the substance? Most interesting to me is the way Nuland speaks about the situation, particularly about Klitschko, a former champion boxer. You've seen photos of him. We've covered him a little bit. Okay? Who's emerged as a key opposition leader who supports Ukrainian integration with the EU and is against the current government's alliance with Russia. I don't think Klitsch should go into the government, she says. I don't think it's a good idea. Her strong statement of preference for how Ukraine's government should be formed and apparent confidence that the U.S. has major influence over that is a reminder of the disconnect between U.S. government assurances that it doesn't meddle in nations' internal politics and its actual behavior. This was not a conversation analyzing unfolding events and how to respond to what comes next. This was about molding a situation according to U.S. interests. Guys, I am shocked. I, for one, am so fucking confused and so shocked to find out that once again, our ambassadors, our envoys, our fucking State Department is operating in a manner where we are fucking setting up regime change in yet another nation. You stop it right the fuck now. How dare you? Aghast. I'm flabbergasted. Shocked, I tell you. No. The United States would never play a role in any other country. We are a nation of our own. We're a small bean nation. We're neurodivergent minors. Billy, dude, Reddit is going to have a field day with this. But this time, yeah. But remember, there is real anger and real frustration towards the pro-Putin administration and their actions with respect to not joining the EU or later deciding not to join the EU. Okay? What is going on? Why are you fucking blasting fools right now? They're just spamming shit. Transcript we already watched, we already listened to it, and that's it. There's a new Channel 5 clip. Yeah, we'll watch it. Now, this is from 2014. It shows one piece of American involvement, but the reason why I showed this to you is because you asked, what does this mean? What was the United States actually involved in what was going on? The United States is always in the United States is always involved. They always involve themselves in foreign countries' affairs. Always. Okay?
I chat hassle.
None of this justifies Russia's invasion of Ukraine. None of this justifies the none of this justifies the horrible 1 million plus refugees trying to survive, trying to escape. 1 million people have been displaced thus far. Send soldiers to not fight. Lamau? Wait, what do you mean?